feel I've really turned a corner in the way I was up to 40 days ago.
For me, the 40-day health challenge has meant that I feel back in society. I don't feel invisible anymore.
I thought for a while I had trapped wind, you know.
Okay.
Because I felt my stomach one day and it felt quite hard, but it was actually muscle developing there. Now that hasn't happened in a long, long time.
We're over the hill and on the home straight with 14 days left of the 40-day health challenge. And needless to say, our challengers have been absolutely amazing so far. They're on phase 3 of the exercise plan. It's getting a little bit tougher, but they're struggling through. They're still cooking Sophie's meals, following Dr. Eddie's mental fitness plan, and Sumi's making sure the bodies aren't falling apart just yet. DJ Colm Hayes, who's back to see how far he has come since the assessment day.
Oh,
okay,
wow.
Keep walking,
Yeah.
keep walking. You're a little bit pale on me now, just keep walking. That's it, walk it out. And Deirdre and Jim, after a very eventful week.
So yeah, a little bit of worry this week now with scans and different things that I'm just going to have to park it now today.
There's no point in waiting, wondering and worrying.
A very big welcome to the studio to broadcaster Colm Hayes, Deirdre and Jim. Colum, how's it going? You got some great results the last time that you were in. How are you feeling today?
Feeling good. So it's February 1, so I did dry January, and that's been great. I have to say, greater than great. And in combination with everything we're doing, food-wise, mental health and exercise, it's been a real eye-opener. I think I've spoken about it. I've spoken about it on air. But it really, I feel I've really turned a corner in the way I was up to 40 days ago. So the benefits are clear for me. In my head, in the way I feel, in the way I am every day with clarity, with work, with extra projects I'm taking on, so much more energy, but so much more positive energy, you know, which I think is, because you know, in my business, you can be very energetic on a daily basis and get nothing done. You're running around, but I've just found greater clarity and yeah, I've got involved in more projects and I've been much more positive. So a benefit all around.
That will be one thing for you, won't it? Reintroducing alcohol.
Yes.
In a balanced, healthy, normal way back into life.
Yeah. The clarity without alcohol this month has been unbelievable, especially at weekends. Getting those weekends back and being so positive. And getting, as I said, getting more work done during the day. You know, there was times I'd be taking naps, and I'd always say, "Oh well, I'm up at 5:15 in the morning. Everyone needs a nap." I haven't had a nap for January at all. At all. I haven't needed it. And as soon as I got tired, I was able to. There was sort of a sense that I was able to hit the accelerator because I had energy inside that I just needed to find. So I'd go out and walk, or I'd start writing, or you know, just so those benefits.
Numbers are crucial.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at some now. We're gonna have a look at your weight.
Right.
Day 1, you were 114.3 kilograms.
Right.
And today, your weight is 110.3. Yeah. That's 9 pounds down. Well done.
Yeah, this is terrible. I thought I'd be more.
More?
Yeah, I know. No, the reason being
26 days.
Yeah.
9 pounds.
No idea what goes on up there.
Half a pound to a pound a week would be the normal weight loss.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you lost 4 pounds, you'd be ecstatic.
Okay.
You've lost 9 pounds.
Okay.
You're 5 pounds off a stone, 14 days to go.
Yeah.
You'll be thereabouts, you know, a stone in 40 to 45 days, which is fantastic weight loss.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to bring you back to your dry January. I think that's phenomenal. And I'll tell you why. You know, we've got fundamental organs that help us. We've got our skin, we've got our liver, we've got our lungs, we've got our kidneys. They're all involved in what we call a detoxification process. So all of that happens intrinsically every day. It works. You remove alcohol out of that equation. You've then got your liver working less. You're holding on to less water, part of that number. Your skin is going to improve because you're not excreting the end products of alcohol, which are toxins, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Your kidneys are going to work much more efficiently, and it's easier to breathe as well because all of that is contributing and it's giving you that energy bit.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you know, as you know, habits get reintroduced. It's nice to think about habits in a slow, sustainable manner. I'm not saying give up alcohol. You know, we all have lives, but let's think about it.
Okay, let's have a look at one quick video.
I want to talk to the partners of people who are living with cancer, stage 4 cancer, because as a partner, we have a vital role to play. We have a job. We're the buffer zone. you've had serious conversations with that person that you don't even tell other people what you've talked about. And your partner needs to be able to talk to you, absolutely needs to be able to talk to you. And you need to be able to handle that conversation. And I think for a number of years, I didn't deal with it well. I questioned the world. I questioned my existence. I questioned why my partner has this. I got angry, really, really angry. Your life changes. You're never going back to the way it was before. And rather than question everything, you've got to challenge everything. You've got to challenge the cancer. You've got to challenge yourself. I hope I've turned that corner in the last 30 days. For the previous 4.5, 5 years, I got angry about everything. I got angry all the time. And I hid away inside a lot, and I hid away. But I would say I'm a different person. That's ridiculous. I'm not a different person. I'm a person who's now dealing with things differently than the same person that dealt with them badly.
One of the things I took from it was the anger piece, right? And that anger was around for a long period of time, 4.5 years. So anger is a very interesting emotion. Like, anger is a normal human emotion. It's okay to experience anger, okay? The presence of anger for a very long time, there's a lot of psychological research which show what we call is toxic in.
Okay.
It can be, it's held in, and it can be toxic to our health. And it can impact on our cardiovascular health, actually. So this whole shift, anger will come back and move and stuff like that. But if there's a shift on that, that's a shift that's in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's something we see time and time again when people begin to get healthy, isn't it, guys? In terms of, it's the importance of minding yourself. No matter what situation in life you're in, whether it's to young children, whether it's work stress, whatever it is, no matter what stress is around, it's the importance of eating better.
It's a great point.
Moving more.
Totally.
Self-care, by putting yourself first. The oxygen mask, you use it all the time, as long as I've known you.
Well, that self-care is so important, and it helps you navigate this stress, navigate the grey.
Yeah.
And you've put yourself in a position of deepening and widening your resilience. So,
No, it's great. And Colum, it's a great learning curve. So you've 14 days to go.
Yeah.
Keep cruising.
Right.
And we're going to move on to Deirdre and Jim. How are we all?
very good.
Really good.
Before we get chatting, we're going to bring up a video. I want to have a look at this before we go any further.
Just leaving St. Veronica's Day War there in the Vans. So yeah, a little bit of a worry this week now with scans and different things, but I'm just going to have to park it now today until we get the results, because I can't be trying to live in the future.
There's no point in waiting, wondering and worrying.
And one thing that I'm really grateful for, I'm really glad of, is that I have been able to learn acceptance.
Just back from a fabulous walk in Nemo. About 100 people gathered there this evening, and we got a great response.
My first time doing Tai Chi, and I was fab.
We're trying to get Camino ready.
20 minutes in, and we're neck and neck. 24 minutes in, I see Jim in the distance there. Feeling good now after that. Definitely got the blood warmed up.
These are fairly easy, Karl.
Not so easy now, Karl.
So I suppose if I could say anything to anybody who is dealing with any kind of a chronic illness or any kind of struggles or challenges, accept where you're at. This is set number 6.
Well, Dr. Eddie, I loved today's challenge. Left the phone at home and I went out for a couple of hours, and you know what? It was absolutely wonderful. You can see they're dying to taste it.
Yeah. Pressure will be on us now in a minute.
So look at that array of colours, and that's stunning.
Absolutely divine.
I didn't know you were a long-distance relation of Gordon Ramsay.
Fine kick to it. The chili is after giving you a right good punch.
Dinner tonight, which was chickpea and rice, hard slog.
The humble puppy, an ode to Sophie. The complaints department is about to open. Baked, boiled, steamed or roasted, round many a table they are toasted. The humble spud, you are my best bud. In the 40-day health challenge, you prescribe a plan. The humble puppy, please don't ban.
I need to be a little bit more honest with myself, and I need to start owning my emotions a little bit more.
Day 20, halfway there.
Like if I was really feeling low before, I'd just have a little bit of a cry to myself, and I'd dust myself down and I'd move on.
And it's fantastic looking at her day to day now. Our energy levels are good.
I've just got a phone call from my oncologist, the wonderful Dr. Deirdre and Jim, to say that my scan results have come back and everything is as it was, stable, and I'm just thrilled. I'm so thrilled.
Yeah.
Well done. Phenomenal.
You bring great crack to the whole thing, don't you? Like, you're marrying a health plan with loads of change, and people struggle with change. They struggle with adapting to something, especially something like this. The food, the movement, the mental fitness, all of that, and the exposure of the whole thing as well in terms of videoing and Instagram. And you marry it with fun.
We're
And it's
having
brilliant.
great fun. We are having the best fun. And I think since Jim retired, there's more time to sort of figure out, you know, we were a couple before we were a crowd. And we've actually kind of gone back into that space and life again.
Couple before you were a crowd. That man over there smiled when you said that. That's, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, it's stunning.
As a phrase.
No, I can.
It's a lovely
But
phrase.
it connects exactly what's going on in terms of you're trying to identify your future role, if that makes sense. You know? And you sort of put yourself into a particular role, and now you've supercharged it. You're into a totally different space.
Yeah. It just resonated with me when you said it earlier, you know, that grey area that you talk about. I suppose when the challenge is greatest, you have to be at your strongest.
The 40-day health challenge has very much brought you back to that kind of the couple space.
Yeah.
And given you a sense of direction for the 40 days to focus on.
And I suppose we've been able to be a bit more honest with each other as well. We've been able to have those conversations that we would have, you know, that I would have craved. And I suppose Jim might not have been ready for. Because I suppose I had a lot of conversations with a lot of friends, and, you know, I did have counselling for quite some time, and I found it incredible. So I would have learned that, you know, sharing it is the way to be able to kind of handle it. So it's
exercise
wonderful.
together, it does give you that time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Together. Whether it's a walk or whether it's your brilliant workout in your beautiful home, in your gear looking perfect, just like the food. But it gives you that time together that isn't, you can have those chats in a really nice way.
Absolutely. And the support when you feel you can't do another, you know, 10 minutes walking is fantastic. Like to have, you know, your best friend by your side doing that is incredible. You know, it makes the 40-day health challenge a way of life as opposed to any kind of an extra stress on us, you know.
Have you been surprised by that aspect of it? Because remember back to day one when you rocked up, Jim just delivered you. He was going out the door and we kind of locked the door on him and said, "You're here." Have you been surprised by that? Like, did you expect that from it when you pressed the registration form?
I think when I pressed, you know, submit on the registration form, I think it was just going to get me Camino ready, that I wouldn't let Jim down on the road, you know, because that was my kind of short-term goal. Yeah. And I thought, okay, if I can be part of, you know, a really good exercise plan, a really good food plan, and, you know, the mindfulness and the mental health. And I thought there was going to be a plan adapted for, you know, somebody like me who was living with chronic illness. But I mean, I suppose for me, the 40-day health challenge has meant that I feel back in society. I don't feel invisible anymore. I feel like I can be part of everything that's going on to suit my level of ability, you know.
I think that's incredible because you have actually demonstrated that there doesn't need to be an adaptation, you know, which isolates you from everything. It's all integrated and it's great. I mean, it's phenomenal to see those squats because I know for fact that a lot of my patients have muscle pains with the kind of therapy that you've been through. I know a lot of my patients struggle to get moving, but to see that is incredible. To see that very, let's say, natural movement. Yeah, it's just happening, and it gets a bit easier. Now, I question some of your moves with. You're
totally out of sync.
I don't know what was going on there.
That's called the windmill, I think.
You know, a bit of sustainable energy. But
and you know what's fabulous as well, I have to say this, Jim, is that you never tell me, stop now, don't do too many more, because you can't, you know, you never stop me. But I do actually love when I see him in pain. I'm feeling it too. I love to see him in pain because...
but it is brilliant. And I love the fact, and we've had the conversation before, when it's a day that doesn't suit you, it doesn't have to happen. And I think that's so important. Yeah.
Well, that's the good enough analogy to exercise. We live in a world where it's perfection. and that success is perfection when it comes to health and wellness, and it's not that.
Yeah.
That lives on Instagram. It lives with all the influencers who are guiding people in the wrong way. In the real world, everyone around this table as an expert will tell you that that doesn't exist. It's the I'm doing good enough.
Yeah.
Let's bring up some stats for you, okay? And then I'm going to bring up some stats for Jim after that. We're going to have a look at your weight first and foremost. We'll bring it up on the screen now. On day 1, you're 60.9 kilograms. It's not a huge marker for you. You're very slight. You know, physically you're very slight. But we're going to bring it up and have a little chat about it anyway. You're 58.4 kilos, 2.5 kilograms down. It's good. It's not a massive indicator.
I don't want you to lose weight, Deirdre. I really don't. You know, I really want you to just keep at a steady, sustainable aspect. Has this come about because we've got more movement and, you know, different protein? You know, I'll leave it to my colleagues over there.
The reason I say it's good is based on the next stat that I'm going to deliver, which is even more important. Okay, the overall number on a weight level doesn't really tell us much about somebody's health. What we want as someone goes through the aging process is maintaining muscle mass and losing fat mass. And that fat mass number is really important for a whole host of reasons. We're going to have a look at yours now. When you started, you were 33.8% body fat. You're now 29.4% body fat. And I'm going to give you the window for that, right? In terms of from Tanita's perspective, 23 to 33% is the window for female body fat levels to be within. You're nearly slap in the middle or very close to the middle of that range profile now, which is brilliant. You were slightly over at day 1.
Delighted with that.
That's really important, is the composition changes that we're seeing. You're maintaining your muscle mass. You've gained a little bit of muscle mass over the course of the last 26 days. You're losing fat mass. And that is important. And Sumi hopefully will back me up on this one.
No, I will.
In terms of long-term health factors, you know.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'll back that up. But more importantly, I don't want you losing weight. Okay, for you, sustainable weight is really, really important, and I can't say that enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your weight will fluctuate as well, which is, I think, important to know. So there'll be times where you could go through a period of 3-4 weeks, and we could be dipping down, and then for some reason we could plateau and then pop up. So I think it's really important for you to kind of acknowledge that as well, and just be mindful of the weight, but not put too much emphasis on it. So if we do need to add a snack, or if we do need to drop a snack, or whatever it is, it ties in with kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
And also then you'll experience times where you're a lot more fatigued, or there's something going on in your life, and that will contribute to what's said on the scales as well.
So if we're saying to Deirdre, like let's keep your weight in around this now, so 58.4 kilos, between 58 and 59, see a little window. Are we saying, Jim's going to love this, that Deirdre's going to have an extra snack?
Yeah, I would definitely look at increasing it a small bit for you.
Okay.
And we'll just see how we go for the next week and a half, and then we can modify it again. But we just have to be mindful of the trend, because obviously we're healthy weight. Your muscle mass is amazing. Like, a lot of people will find that their muscle mass drops, and we just can't have that for your long-term health. It's absolutely key that you maintain your muscle mass, or if not gain it. So those strength-based exercises that you're doing, you're backing up with your high protein kind of foods, and you're doing everything that your body needs to do at this moment in time, which is all anyone else.
Can I ask Deirdre? Deirdre, you talked a really important concept of acceptance.
Yeah.
And as well, it's come up over a number of times too, and I just think it's helpful. Faith plays an important part for you as well. And when we look at people with meaning and engagement in their life, and you know, the acceptance, can you? Because I think others might be a value of others to hear about that, I think.
Yeah, I suppose it's interesting. One of my sisters asked me on a walk recently, you know, she said, like, did you get really angry? Do you ever get really, really angry? And I said, you know, I might get angry if I'm stuck in traffic, or I might get angry, you know, if you know, we'll say I have a leak somewhere in the house. But I find with my illness, I decided very early on that I needed to accept it, because I can't waste my time on being angry, because time for me is crucial. I mean, you know, I've been given notice, I suppose, really, for want of a better word, that I have an illness that's not going to take me into my 80s, you know. So for me, acceptance means that once I accept where I am at, once I, you know, get up in the morning and I know what way I feel, if I'm feeling a little bit low, if I'm feeling, you know, that I might need to reach out to somebody and go for a walk with somebody, or meet a friend, whatever it is. But once I accept that, I can actually make that call then to meet somebody, or to get a little bit more support. But if I get up and I'm kind of angry and I'm a bit disillusioned and I feel like I'm going down into a bit of a black hole, I can't really move on in my day.
But I do have a deep faith, and I do feel that God is in me and around me. And I do reach out to him, and I get little signs and, you know, little reminders. And I was even talking to Chris about that last week. He said, you know, he feels that he has similar understanding of his faith. And I suppose it's a really, it just gives him great hope. But acceptance for me is knowing and owning where I am at a moment, so that then I can put one foot in front of the other and find a solution to, you know, make the day a little bit better if I need that help. Or if I'm in great form, make it better again, you know.
It's very powerful. It's very powerful to even just listen to you, and it's a privilege actually to listen to you.
Thank you.
To be able to articulate that. It's so powerful, and thanks so much for sharing that. Really appreciate it.
And Jim, you've had an amazing couple of weeks.
I have.
New hobbies. You're back in the shed.
Back in the shed.
Yeah.
Back in the shed.
That's in the name of a book. Yeah. Back in the shed.
Yeah, there's a new energy there, definitely. Yeah.
You found a purpose in your retirement now, it's fair to say.
I do, and it's the release of stress from my system is incredible. I didn't think I'd see that happening. I didn't see it from September to Christmas. You know, I just come out of a job as principal, and I took it very seriously.
Yeah.
And it took me about the 4 months, but this was the trigger to really let the gas out and release the fun Jim, as I would have mentioned before. He's in there somewhere. He's coming out slowly but surely, you know. Deirdre's more like a peanut. Like, I'm more like a walnut. Like, I'm a lot harder to break. Deirdre has that kind of way of, you know, she can open up and is very articulate and is very, very good at that, whereas I have a few more layers to go yet. It's a bit harder to break down, but I definitely do feel the release. And stress is a killer. And no matter what diet or what exercise plan or whatever I go through, if stress is in there, it's going to eat me up. But the diet is releasing it, the exercise is releasing it, the mindfulness pieces, all of that is allowing me to let stress out.
But for me, it's like a joy to see him looking inwardly and really getting to know himself, because he's great fun, as you can see.
So let's have a look and see if the hard work is paying off.
Yeah.
Because it absolutely seems to be. And let's cement that with some numbers. You were 90.2 kilos when you first came to us 26 days ago. And today, your weight, 85.4 kilos.
Good man, Jim.
4.8 kilos, 10.5 pounds down.
Yeah. No, that's lovely. That's nice.
And again, you can see that, right? I can see it looking at you.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. My problem is when I put on weight, it goes to my belly and my backside.
Yes.
So I'm like a pregnant duck at that stage then. It's a case of here's my head and my arse is coming, you know. But straight away, the belly, you could feel that.
And of course, that tummy fat, as you know, Sumi talks about it all the time, is it's the most dangerous kind of fat that we can have from a nutritionist
It's
perspective.
an indicator for health, and that's what we're now using, as opposed to just weight on its own. Managing that is a phenomenal healthcare outcome.
Oh, it's fabulous. Like, I thought for a while I had trapped wind, you know.
Okay.
Because I felt my stomach one day and it felt quite hard.
Yes.
But it was actually muscle developing there. Now, that hasn't happened in a long, long time. But all these planks and bits and pieces that you're doing, I can actually feel.
Everyone in the room has a six pack. What varies one person from another is what covers the six pack, which is the layer of body fat.
Well hidden,
and we're reducing that through general daily movement,
Yeah.
cardiovascular exercise, resistance exercise, and eating properly. We've seen a weight difference. Now comes the really important one.
Yeah.
Because you are living with someone who's 39 years old metabolically. And then we're going to check your metabolic age. And the pressure's really on.
Brownie points.
Your metabolic age day 1 was 55. What age are you?
56.
56. 26 days later, eating better, moving more, spending a bit more time in the shed. Your metabolic age?
Wow.
42. Couples around the country are going to be motivated now. We have a 39-year-old and a 42-year-old in the house, to say the least. From the couple to a crowd and back to a couple again.
Yeah.
We're getting younger.
I've come a long way.
It's like watching Benjamin Button.
I went into the credit union with my daughter. She'd just come back from Australia.
Yeah.
And she wanted me as a bondholder, as a guarantor, whatever it is. And I went and I stood beside her, and the lady was doing her business and all the rest of it. And she said, and you brought your granddad along.
No.
This was before the 40 Day Health Challenge.
So now I'll go back in. I'm going to go back in.
You can play the video and you can reveal.
I'm going back to that moment.
You're going to need your ID in the office.
But, you know, fun or not, right? It's brilliant to see. And I think, experts, everyone around the table, the difference that we see with the three challengers in front of us is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And the importance of mental well-being, physical well-being, food well-being, and the impact on the body, we're seeing that. So 14 days to go. So as a group, the advice is keep going. Keep working. And remember, you at home from all over the world who are logging in to our website and our social media channels, you can start on day one at any time on 40dayhealthchallenge.ie. For now, stay safe, stay healthy, stay motivated and inspired, and we'll see you very, very soon. Coming up, John?
Do you think we're communicating properly? Can we improve on something, do you think?
I think we're doing okay, just working step by step now to look to the future.
Obviously, it's only now I'm kind of able to communicate better since I started this 40-day health challenge.
Dara?
So every day I've been good. I've been getting the things ready the night before and bringing them with me. But I ended up on a different site, and I ended up going then to get a sandwich and coffee, which is fine because that's a good lunch and there's nothing too wrong with it, except that it was so easy to not be mindful about what I was eating.
And Eileen?
This is when it's going to start kicking in and get harder. I'm really aware of that. So I kind of just said to myself, do a reset, Eileen, and take it like, I only ever read each day as it comes. So, but I want to kind of like think of day 11 as day 1 again.